Professional wrestling is the one true sport. Other sports have their share of intense, dramatic moments, but nothing can compare with professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling History X, where three friends come together to talk about the stories behind the matches. I'm Matt.
And you can call me Meat.
Welcome to episode 369, WWF Monday Night RAW.
Raw after King of the Ring.
That's right.
We typically catch the fallout from the pay-per-views because they're typically important for, the stories going forward.
So this is the 318th episode of Raw, produced by the WWF. It would take place on June 28th, 1999, from the Charlotte Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina, with an attendance of 19,553 people and a TV rating of 6.8.
They can pack out any arena that's not a football arena that they'd like at this point.
Yeah. Just for comparison, Nitro had a 3.6 this same night with Nash in a lumberjack match versus David Flair, where he would fend off all of the heel lumberjacks to leave with Tori.
Yeah, there's a reason that they have half the viewers at this point.
Yeah. But something that would happen right around the same time as this Raw, South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut.
Blame Canada.
And Wild Wild West would hit theaters the next weekend.
I saw one of these in the theater.
And it wasn't South Park?
No, I was in like 5th or 6th grade. I was not able to see the South Park. I did see the South Park movie on video when it came out, but South Park was one of those things that like your mom told you you're not allowed to watch it, but I still watched it.
I've never been a South Park, like I've watched some episodes.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Like it's actually something that like is on my list of things that I should.
That's crazy. You can probably skip
I could go back and watch at some point.
I would say there's a point where it got good when I was like in high school, but the like early episodes are kind of just shock value, but then they start to become like the clever like social commentary stuff from a couple of Colorado libertarians, basically. And I like when I was in high school, I watched it a good amount, but I didn't keep up with it at all. I can't remember the last time I watched it was they did the like a pandemic special or whatever. And I think it was on HBO or whatever at the time, and I probably had HBO at the time. So yeah. I just watched it out of curiosity, but I don't know if it's good now. Obviously, it probably goes up and down, but the first handful of seasons are definitely like kind of just very 1999, like shocking for the sake of being shocking, and then they kind of figure it out and it becomes pretty good. But I'm not a diehard by any means. Wild Wild West, movie I saw in the theater and thought was cool, and turns out everyone hated it. It wasn't a flop, was it? It just wasn't as big of a summer hit as...
I mean, it definitely didn't make what I think they...
It's not Men in Black.
...expected it to make.
Same director, I believe. Are they both Barry Sonnenfeld?
Yes, it is. Let's see here, what did it make? It made 27 opening weekend, 222 worldwide. So, I mean, it made its budget back, but I definitely wouldn't say that it was in the pack.
Yeah, I mean, with VHS
with all marketing and all that stuff.
I'm sure VHS and DVD, it probably did fine because that was the time period. But for me as a kid, like, I just thought it was big and dumb and fun, but I didn't realize until later. And then, of course, the whole spider.
Yeah,
the mechanical spider kind of is the most memorable thing about it at this point, if you're like a bit of a movie nerd.
Yeah, because it was originally supposed to be in a Superman movie.
Yeah.
And then John Peters, who produced this one, was just like, we'll just put
it in this one. He was just obsessed with this, putting a giant mechanical spider in it.
He wanted a mechanical spider.
It made more sense in this because this is...
No, it definitely made more sense.
This is like fictional steampunk Wild West. This is basically the movie like Maverick meets James Bond for kids.
Yes.
But I just remember liking all the gadgets and stuff of it. I don't even remember the plot really. I just know the.
I mean, your description of it is like kind of spot on.
Yeah.
Cowboys versus Bond.
yeah. I mean, I remember liked the gadgets of it all, and of course, Will Smith was on a tear at the time.
He was definitely on a tear at this point, but
this was not the best choice maybe for him, but it makes sense on paper.
I mean, definitely on paper it makes sense.
Yeah. But Men in Black seems like a risk too, but it happens to be incredible and just holds up so much better than so many things that are stupid. Did you say it was Barry Sonnenfeld did Wild Wild West?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a shame because he made like the two Addams Family movies that rule, and Men in Black, which is a American blockbuster, crowd-pleasing popcorn masterpiece. And then I think he made Men in Black 2, which stinks on ice. And I think he just kind of fell off after all that. And he originally was a director of photography. Because I think he worked with the...
Addams Family and Family Values were two of his first three movies.
Okay. Didn't he... I think he worked with the Coen brothers.
He also did the Get Shorty, and did he come back for... I would assume that he came back for... No, he did not. He didn't come back for Be Cool.
Oh, yeah. Be Cool, one of the rock performances that I actually like in a movie. You've seen the South Park movie, though, right?
I have seen it. He actually did Men in Black 3 as well.
Better, but still broken. Better than 2, but it's still got its issues.
But literally, he's only made one movie since Men in Black 3.
Really? What is it?
It was called 9 Lives. 2016. It has an 11 Metascore, so you know it's bad. Has
11 out of 10? That's pretty good.
Kevin Spacey, Jennifer Garner, Robbie Amell. A stuffy businessman finds himself trapped inside the body of his family's cat.
Wow, what a fall off. That sounds like a made-for-TV Disney movie. What was his first film?
Addams Family.
Oh, I thought you said that Addams Family and Adam. Yeah, okay, I got you.
It was two of his first three. The one that he did in between was called For Love or Money. Michael J. Fox and Gabrielle Anwar.
Okay.
Michael J. Fox is a concierge at a hotel.
So basically what he did was he was like, okay, I made 2 genre comedies. I'm going to go to another genre comedy after I failed. After my rom-com stunk. I mean, it might be fine, but I've never heard anybody talk about it.
I mean, he's done some TV stuff. Because he did, an episode of The Tick, Pushing Daisies. He did the pilot of the Beverly Hills Cop TV show that...
Oh, I forgot they tried to do that.
That didn't get picked up.
We really got to stop with all this IP business.
And then he did 10 episodes of the Lemony Snicket Netflix show, series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, I remember when the movie came out, I didn't see it.
The movie was not good.
It didn't look good.
The series was decent.
It's based off books, right? Yeah. It's like a series though.
Children's books.
But they only made one movie.
And the series was
the movie's
4 seasons, I
think.
But
this is post Harry Potter, so I assume the movie was supposed to be they were trying to do that, like a Divergent or a what is it called? Mockingjay? Hunger Games. Yeah.
Well, it's 3 seasons, 25 episodes, and he directed 10 of them. So
I mean, Barry Sonnenfeld's not going to be hurting for money, but it'd be nice if he got inspired and made something cool again. But who's going to give him money?
Doesn't seem like anybody right now.
Yeah, nobody's getting any money to make any projects unless they're grandfathered in. Your Tarantinos, your Scorseses.
Would you recommend the South Park movie?
Yeah, I think that...
to anyone who, maybe if they haven't even seen South Park.
Yeah, even if you're not interested, I think that it is a cultural snapshot of 1999, and it'll be more clever than you expected. It's not the best Matt and Trey movie because Team America is better.
Orgasmo's out there as well.
I think I like the South Park movie more than Orgasmo. Actually, I really like. It's not a good movie, but
you know me, I'm an Orgasmo stan.
I know. I love Cannibal the Musical, but that was just a thing we watched in high school all the time. It's not good, but it is. It has its moments.
But yeah, go catch either one of those films.
Easy watches.
Yeah.
Popcorn
absolutely.
movies.
Absolutely.
No one's shedding a tear over the South Park movie or Wild Wild West.
Well, let's talk some Monday Night Raw. WWF Attitude video, followed by still highlights from the King of the Ring pay-per-view from the previous night. We see Austin beating down the McMahons, the briefcase being raised higher before it's lowered again for Shane to grab to win the match. We then get the opening video package, followed by Pyro going off in the arena as Jim Ross welcomes us to the show, joined by Jerry, the King Lawler.
I must say, I'm sure I brought it up on the episode, but the lifting of the briefcase is the perfect amount of stupid and to just get everybody that much more angry. It's just a wonderful visual gag. It's just perfect, like American wrestling heel tactic garbage.
The corporate ministry then makes their way to the ring with Vince being giddy, as there is a celebration tonight that the fans will never forget, before Shane has an official announcement that they are firing Stone Cold. Mr. McMahon then says that Austin will go back to where he belongs, at the bottom rung of the ladder. Vince then turns his attention to the corporate ministry, saying that there's no crack in our group. The Undertaker is even invited to face Triple H at the next pay-per-view, which seems like that would cause a crack in the corporate ministry, right?
Yeah. It's like, why would you... Yeah, it's like... It makes no sense. It's like, would we have the belt right now? The Undertaker is proven. Why would we... I guess to keep it away from Stone Cold would be the logic. But they're saying they're dropping him to the bottom of the card, so...
All of a sudden, Big Boss Man makes his way to ringside.
Love the Cobb County song.
With Mr. McMahon telling everyone he will handle this. And I got a little backstory here because it didn't get told on the pay-per-view last week or really here.
Yeah, I was slightly confused when he came out, and I was like, what exactly? Why? I don't remember what happened.
On the heat before the pay-per-view, Boss Man had gotten fired from the ministry. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the reason is because there was a stipulation in the main event that if anybody from the ministry interfered, Austin won the match.
Yeah.
Fired Big Boss Man
For interfering.
And then, this the briefcase raises up and down. And Jim Ross even goes at one point on the pay-per-view, like, is it Big Boss Man doing it?
Yeah.
Knowing all that, Boss Man enters a squared circle, gets in the McMahon's face.
Which is really smart because he's just one guy with a nightstick and there's like 10 professional wrestlers as well as the McMahons.
Takes the mic and says that he loves them. And they have a big group hug. It was all a ploy.
So let me see if I can bend this logic to make sense. They fired him, and then for him to prove himself and get back in with the group, he hijacked the mechanism to lift the...
Basically.
That's what makes sense. They don't say it out loud, but It's like, well, he must have been fired if... and then it's like, well, why did they bring him back? But they don't really say it out loud. A rare storytelling L in the top of the card of WWF.
Yeah. Shane has one more thing to say, and that is payback is a bitch. When the glass shatters, and out comes Austin, who states that everyone knows what happened last night was BS. He knew he was going to get screwed, so he took out an insurance policy. A new contract worth a lot of money, taking the clause that he couldn't assault Vince out, and also booked himself in a title match for tonight, where if anyone interferes, Taker will be disqualified and lose the belt.
So yeah, Austin, this is very lazy television writing, like soap opera writing. He's like, but you didn't know that I did this thing off screen. Let me explain it to you. It works here, but it's a little long in the tooth where I start to roll my eyes a little bit. It's like this back and forth, like 3D chess that they're doing is getting a little too complicated to be exciting.
The corporate mystery discusses all this in the ring when we see Steve Blackman and Ken Shamrock walking in the back as we go to commercial. Coming back to our first match, Ken Shamrock versus Steve Blackman in a weapons match. And my first question is, what doctor cleared Shamrock from internal bleeding last night? Because remember, that's why they stopped the match, because he was like literally spitting up blood. Yeah.
Well, Ken Shamrock will never say no, which is one of the reasons that we love him. But also, maybe Austin was like, hey, man, if you want to do it, because that's kind of the thing that they have in common is that they're not quitters. It's just that Stone Cold has charisma, so his success rate is higher.
And they show us footage from Heat where Steve had waylaid Ken with a kendo stick. And Shamrock then takes a mic calling Vince funny for trying to take him out. But you keep sending them, because I'm going to keep coming. And the fight begins on the rampway with Ken tossing Blackman into the steel steps and ring posts.
Posted.
Before making their way inside, where Shamrock is having a hard time even lifting a weapon, allowing Steve to kick him in the head. And Blackman with a hard whip to a corner and grabs nunchucks to use, causing Ken to bleed from the mouth again, as Steve grabs a pair of sticks to obliterate his opponent, before just loading all of his weapons back up and leaving to the back for a no contest as we go to break.
Just beating poor Ken down. And Ken didn't even come out with anything, right? Didn't Blackman come out with just a karate bag, just a duffel bag full of stuff?
Yeah. We come back to highlights of what we just saw when we see Shamrock telling paramedics to leave him alone.
Told you, man. He doesn't want any help.
We also see Blackman just walk out the back and into the night before Michael Cole welcomes Mr. Ass Billy Gunn to the ring.
Our new king of the ring.
And we see highlights of his road to becoming the king of the ring the previous evening, followed by Gunn talking about how he became a tag team champion last week, when the Acolytes didn't have the balls to defend the titles, but he did. Then in one night, he beat 3 men to become king, and he has carried people for so long, and now it's all about him. And Cole tells him that Bradshaw is about to come down for his property. But Mr. Ass isn't concerned, even throwing out an open invitation when Triple H and Chyna come out. And Hunter tells Gunn to ease it down. He has no beef with him, that this is strictly business. It's about their financial future. Triple H continues with a question about his royalty check, that they do seem a bit lower than they should be, as Road Dogg and X-Pac are claiming to be the sole proprietors of DX, saying that all this merch that's sold, that money goes to them instead of us, and we carried their asses around, and they're profiting from it. Hunter says he talked to Vince, and he said if we want it, we can go get it. But I'm busy going after the title, so I'm going to lend you Chyna to go after what is rightfully ours. We don't want the name. We just want the money. Mr. Ass agrees to this idea, and the DX theme plays, when The Rock runs out, assaulting both Mr. Ass and Triple H, until security makes it down to break it all up.
This is another, a little bit, I get that it's the quickest way to get to where what they're trying to do, to fill the card, but it's like, do we care about their royalties as viewers?
No.
It makes sense,
but
and it gets
to be Gunn and Chyna versus Road Dogg.
It gets to where they're going. It fills out the card, but I was just like, royalty angle. What are we talking about?
We go to an interview conducted earlier in the evening where Michael Cole is with Chaz and Marianna, and he's asked why he broke character. So I think I mentioned it on a previous episode. This is the guy who played Beaver Cleavage and his mom.
Yep, he said to some of his other names.
Yeah, he's been down Gimmick Alley being a spider.
Yeah. Being
a headbanger, a scissor of love, and hairy Beaver Cleavage.
Was there 3 headbangers? Because this guy's wider than the headbanger.
No, he was Mosh.
He was Mosh? Okay. Yeah. For some reason he looks different. I don't know why.
But with the support of my girlfriend, who was his mother in the last gimmick, he's going to go out on his own, being Chaz. So I think it was literally the week before, he was cutting a promo as Beaver Cleavage in the back, and then just stopped and was like, I can't do this anymore, and walked off.
I can't blame him.
It was a written shoot, like a worked shoot.
Yeah.
Vince Russo wrote it all. They wanted the character, but they realized the character wasn't getting over, so they were just
knew it was. They realized Vince Russo realized that it was just another bad Vince Russo idea.
Yeah.
So he was trying to cover it up by being like, well, what if he just abandons it?
What if we get edgy and he bans it?
What if we pull back the curtain and let everybody know that wrestling is stupid? Fuck Vince Russo forever.
We then see Austin lacing up his boots as we go to commercial. But we come back to GTV, where we see Test and Stephanie McMahon leaving a motel, sharing a kiss. Oh, how sweet.
Good for Test.
So we go to our second match. Meet. With PMS of Jacqueline, Ryan Shamrock, and Terri Runnels versus Chaz with Marianna.
Now, Meet being surrounded by three ladies is obviously a penis joke.
Back and forth action to begin when Beaver hits a power slam, sending Ham to the floor to regroup, only to return to kick away, whip his opponent to the turnbuckles, and bouncing out into a fireman's carry drop. Meat telegraphs his move, allowing Chaz to retaliate with a clothesline and a running straddle, when Terri would distract the ref, giving Jackie the chance to attack the former headbanger. Turkey then gathers his opponent for his finisher, when Marianna jumps on the apron to confront and shove Runnels, causing Meat to drop the hold to check on Terri, and giving Chaz the opportunity to pick up his opponent to nail a burning hammer for the pin and the win.
Is the coolest thing that Chaz ever gets to do is a burning hammer?
Probably.
Because that's like, famously a dangerous wrestling move from Japan.
Yeah, it's banned in the WWF at this point.
Yeah.
By the way, the next time we see Chaz, he will be back to being a headbanger.
And they never should have broke him up, and I'm not even a headbanger fan. And now, who is Meat?
It's Sean Stasiak, the son of former champion Stan Stasiak. Back in, I think he was champion in WWF days.
Yeah. All right. We haven't really seen him much before.
This is our first time to see Sean, and we never saw Stan. The only thing we covered Stan on a Dusty Finish.
Yeah, we didn't start with WWF. We didn't go that far back.
Stan was already retired by the time.
Yeah,
we started covering stuff. But yeah, this is our first time seeing Sean. Terry Taylor is then in the back with Test, and he asks about the GTV footage that was shown earlier. But before he can answer, Shane McMahon and the Mean Street Posse tackle and beat down the former bodyguard, throwing him into a Coke machine as we go to break.
He seems like he's being respectful to Stephanie. What's the deal? It's not like she's dating Val Venus.
I mean, they were leaving a motel.
It said restaurant, but it might have been a hotel restaurant.
Yeah. We come back to The Undertaker standing alone in the dark, followed by Hardcore Holly making his way to the ring. And we get footage from last week's Raw where Holly was almost taken out by a car that the Big Show turned over outside the arena. Hardcore Holly takes the mic and wonders if throwing a car at him was the best Show's got. But right now, he wants Kane to get his big red diapered ass down here. So that takes us to our third match. Hardcore Holly versus Kane.
But yeah, I was a little confused. I was like, wait, did Kane throw the car on him? I was like, no, that was Big Show. I was like, well, why are we having a match with Kane?
Well, because on the pay-per-view,
yeah.
Hardcore Holly came out to attack Big Show, but Kane stopped him.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I forgot about that part.
I get the small bit of logic behind it.
Yeah.
So the Big Red Machine with strikes and chokes, but misses a charge into a corner, only to catch Holly with a back elbow, allowing him to climb to the top when Hardcore Holly hits the ropes.
Double H.
Causing Kane to fall down and crotch himself.
Oof.
Holly then drop kicks the Big Red Machine down to the floor and gives chase to bring him back in, when the Big Show would make his way out, grabbing Kane by the throat and dropping him with a showstopper.
He wants to be the guy to beat up Holly? What's going on here?
Hardcore Holly then puts a boot on the Big Red Machine for the pin and the win.
Is this one of the most
disrespectful covers ever?
Yeah, it is, but like he didn't he only did it because of Big Show. Yeah. But what a image for Hardcore Holly, Mr. Bob Holly, Mr. Sparkplug, to have framed on his wall for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And I love Bob Holly, but he doesn't ever reach the levels of Kane. He just kind of becomes a respected and appreciated guy as opposed to a star.
Post-match, Holly is standing above Kane and taunting him when the Big Red Machine would grab Hardcore Holly by the throat, choke slamming him 4 times.
I know. We all know if you've watched enough wrestling, you know the rule of 3s, and I was honestly surprised that maybe Mr. White just lost track, but 4 was overkill.
And the ref finally is able to get Holly rolled out of the ring to stop the punishment. We then see Triple H, Chyna, and The Rock all walking in the back as we go to commercial. Coming back to the Slam of the Week, where we get footage of Rocky using an ether-soaked rag to take the Undertaker down, only for Hunter to interfere, nailing a pedigree, followed by a dead man tombstone for the win. So that takes us to our 4th match, The Rock versus Triple H with Chyna. And Rocky takes the mic, claiming the entire world witnessed The Rock beat Takers twice last night. But the People's Champ isn't crying, because Undertaker woke up with a new tat on his dome that says his head was stuck up his ass. And Rocky continues that he wants to serve up Hunter a rock burger with cheese and a nice drink of monkey piss, if you smell what The Rock is cooking.
It's so funny that everybody remembers the good Rock isms, and then these ones that are truly stupid and awful are just completely forgotten.
Well, yeah. Why am I going to remember rock burger with cheese and a nice drink of monkey piss?
Yeah. And even the ones that people like, I think, are stupid, which is part of the character. But like I said, I was always an anti-Rock guy as a kid, and I just can't help it, even now, where I'm just like, he's doing his job incredibly well.
And the brawl is on as soon as they're in the ring, when Triple H reverses a whip, only for Rocky to duck a pair of clotheslines. But Hunter is able to hit the high knee. Turnbuckle smashes and strikes by Triple H when he sends The Rock to the ropes, only to miss a clothesline, leading to a DDT from Rocky for a 2 count. And Hunter's now being beat down in a corner when Billy Gunn runs down and knocks out The Rock with a club for the disqualification as we go to break.
Yeah, because we know we're going into this 4th match on the card, Rock Triple H. There's no clean finish here. Even if, like...
Well, they're going to match up at the pay-per-view. You can't have a clean finish.
No, like, there's not even going to be a pin, is what I guess I mean.
Yeah. So we come back to highlights of what just happened, before JR sends it to Michael Cole for an update on Rocky. And Cole doesn't really have anything to say when he hears a commotion behind him. It's Draws and Prince Albert attacking Val Venus, tossing him into a garage door until officials arrive to break it up. We then go to our 5th match, The Godfather with Hose versus Edge. And the Pimp does his shtick before we see footage of the second rope spear from the Brood member on the pay-per-view the night before, which we all loved.
Absolutely.
And the match gets going, back and forth action, full of shoulder tackles, clotheslines, and strikes, when Draws and Prince Albert have made their way to ringside. Edge is slammed down, but the Godfather misses an elbow drop, leading to a neck breaker and a flying crossbody for a 2 count by the Brood member. And the Pimp rallies after a telegraph move by Edge with multiple clotheslines, body slam, and a leg drop, followed by the Woo Train. Drozdoff then jumps on the apron, allowing Albert to jump in the ring for a press slam of the Godfather, leaving him woozy as Edge spears him for the pin and the win.
Back to Sunday Night Heat, Godfather.
Post-match, the Pimp is tied up in the ropes by Draws and Prince before grabbing one of the Hose to give her a new piercing, when the Brood member would make the save, clearing the ring of the intruders with the help of the revived Godfather. And the hoes give Edge a hug, with the pimp allowing the one he saved to leave with him, as Gangrel looks on from the crowd.
He feels left out, I guess. This was a very funny finish. The idea that, the incredibly stupid idea that Prince Albert goes around trying to like pierce people against their will is dumber than dog shit. But then for Edge to get a little, get a little, as they say, for the save was funny.
I mean, your favorite wrestler used to just go around trying to cut people's hair.
I don't love Brutus.
I do.
More of a honky-tonk man.
Call back.
Yeah, that's for the day ones.
We see Mr. Ass in his locker room talking to someone behind a wall, telling them to only come if I need you, as we go to commercial. Coming back to our 6th match, Mr. Ass, Billy Gunn, versus Bradshaw with Faarooq for the WWF Tag Team Championship. And we see footage from last week's Raw where Gunn had won a 6-man match and steals the Big Texan's belt, as he thought he deserved it. Traded strikes as soon as Bradshaw's in the ring to get us going, but he takes control with a big boot and a clothesline to send Mr. Ass to the floor, followed by slamming his head into the ring steps. The former militant gets involved as well with a shot from his title belt before Gunn is rolled in for a 2 count. And the Big Texan keeps up the attack with a back suplex, only to miss an elbow drop, leading to Mr. Ass firing up with leaping forearms and fists, followed by a hard whip to a corner and going for a splash. But Bradshaw catches and drops Gunn with a fall-away slam. And the Big Texan places Mr. Ass on the turnbuckles. The Gunn fights back to nail a tornado DDT, a back elbow, and a dropkick, before mooning Faarooq.
Hey, that's Ric Flair's job. I guess he doesn't do it on purpose.
Which brings the militant to the apron, swinging the belt at Mr. Ass, only to hit Bradshaw instead. And Gunn sets up for his finisher when X-Pac would blindside Mr. Ass, pulling him by his hair to the mat, allowing the Big Texan to deliver a clothesline from hell for the pin and the win. Post-match, Chyna runs down to attack the Kid, so Road Dogg does the same to send their former friends bailing to the outside as we go to break.
This is just a random question, but do you think the Mr. Ass idea, because he was Badass Billy Gunn, but now they're a show that's mostly watched by 18 to 35-year-old men. Well, and then also there's a lot of children watching now too, but like they are selling a dude's butt as
probably not.
But that's what they're doing. They're like, oh, he's got an awesome ass. He's the ass man. It's like less. It feels like it's less about him getting ass. That's what Val Venus does. Whose idea was it? Was this Vince McMahon's dirty, horny idea to try to get ladies to watch, or was it Vince Russo's dirty, horny like idea?
They just wanted to differentiate from Badass to Mr. Ass because he's a heel now. So he's a asshole, basically.
Yeah, but it still seems more like they're doing like a sexy boy thing, but yeah, I don't know. That's how I always read it. Maybe I'm crazy.
My biggest issue with this is you just had one of your tag champs pin your King of the Ring from the night before. But they always had to have that happen. They had to have Bradshaw get his belt back.
Yeah.
So the actual issue is...
we just neutered everything we just did the night before.
Gunn should have just not stolen the belt the week before.
That's all he would have to do.
It was just a dumb... like, what was the point of that?
You know what also he could have done? If they did that and realized, oh, he's going to need to get the belt back, but he's winning King of the Ring. He can win King of the Ring and be like... take your fucking belt. I'm the King of the Ring. What do I give a shit?
Yeah.
Just something that simple as opposed to this.
I mean, yes, I understand there's tons of like people running in to do things.
I mean, that's this whole show.
But at the same time, you still gave Bradshaw a victory over your King of the Ring.
Yeah, the pay-per-view that you just sold like last night, and it was called King of the Ring, and this guy is your King of the Ring, and it seems like you don't really care about King of the Ring at this point anymore.
Bradshaw's the lineal King of the Ring now.
There you go.
We come back to the JVC Kaboom of the week, where we see the McMahons thrown into multiple ladders before having the canopy dropped onto them from the pay-per-view the night before. Michael Cole's outside Mr. McMahon's locker room, wanting to get words with him about the title match. We then go back to the arena where Ivory, the new WWF Women's Champion, comes to the ring, along with Nicole Bass. And she had won the title having defeated Debra in a match a few weeks earlier with the help of Nicole. Basically, I had to look it up and find.
Yeah.
It's not like we've seen it.
Or
they talk about it.
You know, no disrespect to these ladies, but we call this filler.
And Ivory takes the mic to say that she is a real champ, not just a Barbie doll lipstick loser. I don't just walk it, talk it, or take it off. I do it. And Ivory continues that there are no real challengers, so she's going to do something different. Make like Apollo Creed and give a nobody a shot. And a fan hops over the railing with security cutting her off, but Ivory wants her to stay. So the fan gets in the champ's face, only now she's scared, leading to Ivory slapping her. And the fan tackles the champ, but Bass breaks it up by grabbing the young woman and powerbombing her. And Ivory acts like she's going to help the girl.
Yeah, almost looks like she feels bad for her.
Only to clothesline and pull her hair, bringing security back in to hold the champ back. So this fan was Malia Hosaka, and we last saw her on WCW Monday Night Nitro on June 9th, 1997, episode 258.
Was that the name she went by?
Yeah.
On the show? All right. I do not remember that, but I believe it.
It was the only other time we've ever seen her.
I assume she had a match with Medusa.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I could tell that she wasn't just a fan because she was a pretty in-shape Asian lady at a wrestling show in North Carolina in 1999.
Cole is now with Vince, and McMahon's not worried about tonight as they took the heart out of Austin. We then see Jeff Jarrett, tired of waiting on Debra's makeup to be done, grabbing her to drag her to the ring as we go to commercial. Coming back to our 7th match, Jeff Jarrett with Debra versus X-Pac for the WWF Intercontinental Championship. The champion came out first. Foreshadowing?
I'm going to say probably not, because X-Pac has a X on his head at the moment, so it just doesn't seem like that's the deal, but who knows? We'll find out.
And Debra tosses the king a t-shirt that says, "Show me your puppies," while Double J attacks as soon as the kid is in the ring. We get back and forth action when X-Pac misses the buster, so Jarrett locks in an ab stretch, only for the kid to reverse. But Double J escapes with a hip toss that sends X-Pac to the outside. And Jarrett gives chase to run his opponent into the ring post.
Posted.
And still steps before taking the kid back inside to work him over with strikes, knees, and a side Russian leg sweep for a 2 count. X-Pac send from corner to corner until Double J locks on a sleeper. When the kid reverses, only for Jarrett to reverse back until X-Pac can escape with a mule kick low blow, firing up to nail some right hands, a spinning heel kick, and a powerbomb for a near fall. The kid then sends Double J to a corner, but he runs into a big boot, with Jarrett going up top to fly off with a crossbody. But X-Pac uses the momentum to roll through for a 2 count, followed by setting his opponent in the corner for a series of kicks and a Bronco Buster. Billy Gunn then runs down and grabs the guitar to swing away, only for the kid to duck and deliver a roundhouse kick to send Mr. Ass out of the ring. And X-Pac grabs the weapon when Debra would get on the apron to take her blouse off. But the kid turns in time to smash the guitar over the head of Double J, goes to make a cover, only for the ref to be distracted by the puppies.
I mean, X-Pac wasn't, so somebody's got to be.
allowing Gunn to run back in to hit the famouser on X-Pac. Jarrett then wakes up enough to roll on top for the pin and the win. Post-match, Road Dogg and Chyna both rush down to the ring for the DX fight to continue until officials swarm to break it up.
I did appreciate X-Pac selling being interested in the puppies, but obviously just knowing that it was a ploy to turn and hit him with the guitar, because sometimes you just got to be smarter than the person on the apron. That's the way I read it anyway. I was like, oh, I expected to swerve. They did something different.
Guess what, guys? The puppies are still going to be there after you hit the guy with the guitar. Just saying.
X-Pac,
she doesn't ever put them away.
He's on the road. He's got rats.
Yeah. We see Undertaker and Stone Cold walking in the back as we go to break. Coming back to our 8th match. Undertaker with Paul Bearer versus Stone Cold Steve Austin for the WWF Championship. Champion came out first. Foreshadowing.
Here, I'm going to go with probably. but we will find out.
Traded strikes to begin when Stone Cold is whipped to the ropes, ducking a clothesline and bouncing back with a Thez press and an elbow drop for a 2 count. Austin with the turnbuckle smash, shoulder blocks, and looks to send the dead man to a corner, only for the whip to be reversed. But Stone Cold avoids the charge in and attempts a stunner, which Taker escapes by shoving his opponent away and bailing out to regroup.
I mean, I appreciate the confidence of Stone Cold Steve Austin, but he thinks he can pull a stunner off 2 minutes into the match.
I mean, he usually runs down and gets a stunner off in less time than that.
That's not in a match, though. That's in between matches. This is The Undertaker. He's been here since, 88? 89?
Something like that, yeah. Austin gives chase with a double axe handle off the apron, battling on the floor with Undertaker's head being rammed into the steel steps.
Oof.
Back inside, Stone Cold telegraphs his move, allowing the dead man to kick him away and send his opponent for a ride, only to telegraph his move, leading to a clothesline for a near fall. And Taker retaliates with a big boot, kicks Austin to the apron, where Bearer uses a shoe to get a shot in before working the neck with elbows.
I love that Paul Bearer is essentially a female valet, just hitting him with a shoe.
Back to their feet, Undertaker clotheslines Stone Cold to the floor, following out to keep up the attack with right hands, head slam into the ring steps, and stomps to the gut. But Austin rallies and sets up for a pile driver. Paul would walk up with his shoe. So Stone Cold drops his opponent and goes after Bearer, which allows the dead man to regain control after attacking from behind. And then return to the ring where Taker delivers strikes, hard whips into a corner, and chokes, only to argue with the ref for trying to make a break, giving Austin the chance to recover and go for a body slam. But Undertaker's too much for him, falling backwards with his opponent on top for a 2 count. The dead man grabs a chin lock to keep Stone Cold grounded when he fires up with gut punches, only to run into a back elbow and a body slam before Taker nails Old School for a near fall. And back to the chin lock, which Austin escapes with a jawbreaker and drags the Undertaker to the corner, only for the dead man to kick Stone Cold away, sending him into the crowd. Taker then brings his opponent back inside for strikes and another chin lock, with Austin again firing up with strikes, when both men would hit clotheslines for a double KO. Now back to the feet, more trade strikes, when a reversed whip leads to Undertaker picking up Stone Cold for a tombstone. But Austin wiggles out the back and delivers a stunner for the pin, and no! Bearer yanks the ref out of the ring. And Stone Cold heads to the floor to deck Paul before returning to the ring to nail another stunner for the pin and the win. And new. Post-match, Austin begins celebrating with beer, only for the dead man to blindside him with a shot from the championship, which busts him open. And the two continue to trade strikes, but Taker gets the better end of the fight and is pummeling away on the open cut as we fade to black.
Yeah, I assumed Austin would get it back because Taker took it from The Rock and we're keeping them apart. But Taker can't leave without getting his heat back.
No.
So, well done.
Fun fact for you here. This main event is the highest rated segment in Raw history.
Totally makes sense. It's 1999. WWF, American wrestling in America is bigger than it has ever been at this point. Yep. And Austin in a title match after a pay-per-view, people are going to tune the fuck in.
So I ask you, Michael, what are your overall thoughts of Monday Night Raw from June 28th, 1999?
Well, Vincent K. McMahon said that it would be a show that will never be forgot. At the beginning of the show, in the first 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I guess that just means Stone Cold wins the belt back and bleeds. But Matt over here just informed me that this is the highest rated segment in all of Raw history. So maybe it's been forgotten, but it did what they needed it to do at the time.
Yep.
It was incredibly successful. The issue is that the rest of the show felt all lower mid-card. Like none of the stakes seemed to be important or mattered. They were moving stories forward, which is fine, but there was nothing to dig into, really. Everything was schmozzed the fuck out. The matches didn't go very long. There wasn't really anything to sink your teeth into. But the main event not only saved the Raw, but, like you said, gave it a record that I assume has not been beat, because at this point, what is television? Where do you even watch Raw now?
If anything's getting a 6.8.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
Yeah.
It's a different world. We can't even talk about it now. But
Nitro's 3.6. Literally, most shows are hoping to even
get a 1.
Get a 1.5 at this point.
It's just a completely different world now. But for this to be the highest rated segment in Raw history, I believe it and it makes sense. But as I'm watching it here today, it doesn't feel as exciting as it did at the time, obviously.
Yeah.
Because we kind of know. It doesn't help that we've been watching all of 98, 99, that we've been in this Attitude Era, so we kind of understand the ebbs and flows of how things work, what the Stone Cold MO is.
Mm-hmm.
You keep them down, give them the belt, keep them down, give them the belt. But yeah, it's cool that he bled. I'm sure that I was incredibly stoked this Monday in 1999 at about 10 o'clock before my mom told me to turn the TV off and go to bed.
My thoughts, you kind of took my words out of my mouth, really.
There's not much else to say.
The main event saves this show from being really bad, as there's too much DX stuff. There literally was 3 different segments of them running out and attacking each other.
And it just waters down the idea of the DX.
And you mentioned it earlier, like, we're really fighting over royalties. That's the storyline.
It's really come to light for me recently that DX was such a huge thing. And then I just can't believe how short it was and how long the tail was, considering that none of them are really working together at this point. And
it's been...
You know what it is? If it wasn't for Suck It and if it wasn't for the really good theme song, like DX never would have worked. They almost lucked out. It was just right time, right place. I'm not taking anything away from the wrestlers. They're all have their own talents. Together they have a great look. They all look great standing next to each other. They look like a cohesive group. But it's just wild how long the tail of DX is, even in 2026, considering that it feels like it only existed for like 9 months.
They weren't really doing anything at WrestleMania together. Kind of going back, I'm like,
I can't.
Were they doing anything at Royal Rumble together?
They're probably all in the Royal Rumble.
Probably. So, that doesn't mean that they're working together. Oh, DX came out together on the January 4th Raw to help Mankind.
Yeah, it was quite a while ago.
That's 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So, to finish up my thoughts, literally there's just other dumb storylines, which I'll give them credit. They were building storylines.
Yeah.
But it's all lower mid-card stuff that, like, I think they're just kind of throwing stuff at the wall with those guys.
Yeah, not to beat a dead horse, but there's nothing to sink your teeth into.
Yeah.
Like, even the, like Test and Stephanie, it's like 99, misogyny has run wild, and you can see people being like, yeah, he fucked my sister, let's beat him up. But even that isn't enough. Because, I mean, yeah, it's like, Test didn't do anything wrong. He's treating her respectfully. Yeah. Like, what are we talking about?
Good. Where's the smart marks at? There. All right. Fuck you.
I think it's time we smark it up. So, what are some of the best moments of this show?
That Austin did a blood job. I appreciated that. It was the right thing for him to do to allow Taker to get his heat back. That's how the show had to end.
I'm going to give Blackman the smallest of flowers, because he at least looked like the badass that
he was originally supposed to be.
He's supposed to be, because he beats up Shamrock and then just goes, "Okay, I'm done," packs his shit up and walks out the building.
Yeah, as dumb as I thought it was, I think that and as dumb as the Prince Albert, I'm going to pierce people against their will thing is, I thought the end of the Godfather Edge match gave me a chuckle, and I find it moderately charming. I mean, it makes Edge a obvious face, even though I don't even know. I guess the Brood are heels.
That's the second best match on this show,
and it has the Godfather in it.
Yeah, or at least in my opinion, it is.
I mean, I can't argue with you. Billy Gunn and Bradshaw was kind of fun, but they're both it's big Texas boys that can take a beating.
To me, that was.
But
it's a match that shouldn't have ever happened.
I agree.
Because the reason for the match is dumb.
I'm saying, the in-ring of it was fun. I like seeing them go against each other. We talked about how stupid it was to do that, and if you're going to do that with King of the Ring, should you even have King of the Ring?
Correct. Yeah, I agree with... like I said, I liked the Edge Godfather. It's probably, like I said, my second favorite match, but it's more just because Edge is doing something different than the Brood, I think, probably.
Yeah, and
I think that's a lot of the reason why I enjoyed it.
It was a nice way to spotlight him as a character and turn him face a little bit. Because, the Godfather is a face because he's surrounded by ladies.
He has a catchphrase.
He's got a catchphrase.
He has an entrance and a catchphrase. So
and
people are gonna like him.
Edge saving a lady, but then being able to have sex with her is the most 1999 bullshit in the world.
At least it wasn't in the ring.
Yeah, positive.
Anything else good? I like the main event.
Main event's good.
It's Undertaker and Stone Cold, so
you can picture it in your mind before it even starts.
Kick punch. Nothing.
Yeah. It's not our favorite style of wrestling, but it served its purpose.
They at least work well together.
Yeah.
So, and Old School was actually good for the first time ever.
Yeah. Old School's been on the back burner for
usually someone always
5
hits
years.
The ropes when he gets up there and crotches him. So I was literally hit it and I went,
I did the same thing. I was
actually hit it.
Like, ooh, surprise. Because
it kind of started to feel like the Flair going to the top rope. Someone's going to always press slam him off.
Yeah. It's easier on his old knees.
Yeah. Most disappointing. There's quite a bit disappointing. We shouldn't have...
obviously the most disappointing thing is that they neutered the King of the Ring.
They did that. They didn't properly tell the Boss Man story.
Which is a rare storytelling L for the WWF.
Because, once I looked it up and kind of got the idea of what they were going for, I'm like, that's a good idea. They didn't execute it well.
No, they didn't execute it well. There should have been... You know how much they love to watch somebody looking at a screen?
Yeah.
They could have cut to Boss Man being the one that did it.
Boss Man could have come out and been and showed the highlight from the night before of them firing him.
And there's so much like short match schmoz trash on this show. They could have done another 5 minutes of explanation that would have made the show a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, instead of Ass and Triple H in the ring, just do that as a backstage segment, like them talking to each other and be like, "You should go after him."
Yeah. Another's, a slight positive because we've been really down on the majority of the show. I like Jeff Jarrett and X-Pac in the ring together.
I mean, they're good together.
I think they can have a great match, but we'll never get it.
Unfortunately, it's just like the Gunn Bradshaw match. Like, they're fine matches, but they were both just ways to tell that DX story again. And it's like, we've already had it happen twice. Like, I don't need it told a third time. Like,
you know what I'm really interested in is what these are going to evolve into for the next pay-per-view, because there's pay-per-view every month, and this is starting stories to lead to that next pay-per-view, and I'm curious to how they evolve and which ones are abandoned, and like what the card looks like on the next pay-per-view, considering how weak we thought this was. Yeah. We know that the tip-top of the card, the Austin McMahon business, will probably be good or interesting, but the rest of the card, like, I really don't have any idea of what they're actually gonna. I can't see them following through with all of this.
Technically, the only match that I can, there's two matches that I can definitely say will happen, or I guess I could predict.
Triple H
and Rock.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 actually,
because they're trying to get to the title.
Yeah, I think Big Show and Hardcore Holly. And maybe even add Kane make it a triple threat, because these 3 guys are kind of hovering in their atmosphere.
If that's put together well, it could be fun because Hardcore Holly can run circles around them. So it would make it kind of a comedy match, but for him to just take cheap shots while these guys, lumber around would be funny.
And then obviously,
but it won't happen.
The fight for the DX. We know that'll be a match. That's on the card.
Yeah. We're doing DX infighting when DX no longer exists.
Exactly.
It's a little too late.
Best performer of the night?
It has to be Austin or Taker, because they're the only ones that, like, who else could it be?
I mean, Edge is probably about the next closest guy.
Yeah. Austin bled. I'll give it to Austin. Yeah. He did the right thing.
Works for me.
He respected the Undertaker, and he gets to a point where he has good instincts, but we'll talk about why he leaves the company in the future. And here he knew what the right thing to do was, and he did it.
And how about most surprising?
That I said it was a night I would never forget, and I forgot this show. I don't remember watching this show as a kid, even though I'm sure I had a blast watching it.
I mean, when we were kids, this would have been a fun show to watch. It's not as much fun now when we're
analyzing it. We've been watching so much of it. Yeah,
we want wrestling.
When we have opinions.
Yeah.
As a kid, I thought Wild Wild West was cool. We weren't cynical
as discerning.
Or discerning. Yeah.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Turn the lights down, turn the projector on, because we're ready to rumble. This week the film we're covering is Swing Fever, released November 1st, 1943 by MGM. It was directed by Tim Whalen and written by Matt Brooks, Joseph Huffman, and Nate Perrin, starring Kay Kaiser, Marilyn Maxwell, and William Gargan, who's a one-time Oscar nominee. And the plot of this one is it's a comedy about a band leader with hypnotic powers.
Goofy.
Some trivia for this one: Lena Horne would make an appearance as herself. And Jean Velaz was a 19-year-old dancer that appeared in the film, who then performed the same number in 2017 on Steve Harvey's Little Big Shots Forever Young.
What is Little Big Shots Forever Young?
It was basically it was like a kid talent show thing.
Steve Harvey, the perfect host for that. I unironically love Steve Harvey. That's all I got to say about Steve Harvey at the moment.
And last bit of trivia here. This is the only film that Kay Kaiser didn't play himself in.
All right, question, because I don't recognize... I mean, I'm not a scholar of films from the decade 1940, but I don't recognize any of these names in starring. I know Lena Horne, but I don't know Kay Kaiser, Marilyn Maxwell, William Gargan. I don't know who any of these people are. So what was Kay Kaiser doing where he was playing himself?
Kay Kaiser was an American band leader and radio personality of the 30s and 40s.
Oh, okay.
And back then, for some reason, they thought, oh, we'll put them in movies.
Well, it totally makes sense.
Because music was like, they basically made a bunch of movies with music back then.
We didn't have television like we did at the time, so it's like everybody listens to this same guy, so he is incredibly famous. Why would we not put him in there? Movies need music, blah, blah, blah. So he can, it totally checks out. I understand now.
Some reviews and ratings of this film. IMDb has it at a 5.9, while Letterboxd is at a 2.6. And I found this review from Jessica Pickens in her blog called Comment Over Hollywood in 2019. Funny film and good time. Joyful viewing experience. And my review is, I don't know where to start with this film.
All right, I'm excited to hear what you got.
We get a setup for the plot, then take a 40-minute interlude to jam in decent musical numbers, before we finally returning to the climax that revolves around a boxing match.
Sounds like a fever dream.
Our main has a special ability that makes people hypnotized, or just knocked out. They show it being used different ways.
So sometimes he hypnotizes somebody and they fall asleep. Sometimes he hypnotizes somebody and they do his bidding.
Right. My biggest issue is he could have used this at any time to get what he wanted, but he was too much of a pushover to realize it.
Oh, so he's kind of like a overpowered fool.
Yeah. And I don't think Kaiser is much of an actor, making me wonder why studios put musicians like him in leading roles back in the day. But we kind of
talked about that. It's like, well, it'll draw people because they want to see this guy. They don't get to see him.
Yep.
They hear him.
And the wrestler of the film is Mike Mazurki.
Who else could it be at this point?
And this is our 14th time to see him. Playing a wrestler at the gym, accidentally picking up our main character as he was looking for our leading lady. He tosses him right to her feet in a humorous moment.
But how funny was it, man?
I went, huh.
I see what you did there. So this is basically a 45 minutes of plot, but then they pad it out with a variety show in the middle?
Yes.
Okay. I can see why that works in 43.
I gave the film a 2.0.
Ooh.
And a wrestler performance of 3.0.
Mike Mazurki, Hall of Fame wrestling actor.
But if this film does sound interesting to you, it was a little bit difficult to find, so I had to go out there to the library system, use the interlibrary loan, because it wasn't in my library, but it might be in yours.
Who knows?
But it might be at one that your library can help you find.
Sounds skippable. Next
week, Bash at the Beach, 1999. You ready to go play in the sand? That was a resigned sigh.
You've heard us talk about WCW recently. It's so hard for us to get excited about any of it.
Yeah.
There's always one thing on the show that we oh, that's good, and then one thing that we're half-ass oh, I kind of like that. So if I can get fucking 2 matches that I'm hell yes about,
let's do it.
Then that's all I'm looking for, which is such a shame because it's 3-hour pay-per-views, and I just want 2 kernels of corn. For the, I guess, to be fair to them, there was only 1 on this Raw of any substance.
But it's half the length as well.
Half the length. Also, The rest of it was watchable. It wasn't good, but it wasn't Big Cat doing James Brown.
Oh, come on. You don't like dancing?
No. I mean, in correct place, but a wrestling ring is not the correct place for dancing. Even the Godfather doesn't dance.
I mean, he kind of does.
He
bobs.
Yeah, but like he doesn't come out and make a big deal of it.
No.
I don't know. I don't know.
We'll find out more next week.
We will. By hook or by crook.
Music from this week's show is Thorn in My Eye by Jim Johnston. And Austin won our main event. So we play I Won't Do What You Tell Me by Jim Johnston. And if you like this episode or any of our other ones, please go out there and rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you find your podcasts at. Do as Michael says.
5 stars or no stars. Do it for meat.
Absolutely.
Or Chaz. Nobody should ever go by Chaz. If your name's Charles, just be Charles, be Chuck. Don't ever be Chaz. And I'm sorry if any of our listeners go by the name Chaz, but you have the ability to change that right now, or maybe even tomorrow.
He'll be Mosh next time we see him. So.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, comments, concerns, some recipes even, we're going to Sunrise, Florida next week, wherever that is.
Yeah.
But you can send any of those things to our email at wrestlinghistoryx@gmail.com or find us on X at WrestlingHistoX. That's Wrestling HISTOX. We'll talk to you next week.
Later.